The Hazleton area Lady Cougar golf team is featured on the latest episode of the Good Sports podcast and web series available at SSPTV.com and StandardSpeaker.com. Grace Babinchak and Isabel Ritz are competing at the East Regional Championships this week, trying to make it to states. As a team, the Lady Cougars have already qualified for the Team State Championships on Wednesday, October 23rd. Standard Speaker sports editor Dave Seaman and I had a great discussion with head coach Joe Boretsky, as well as several members of the team, including Marin Dreamock. She talks about what she's proud of from the 2019 season and what she's still working on as she looks forward to playing in college.
I'm definitely proud of our growth as a team because there were so many girls that have improved so much since even last year and the beginning of this year. And I'm just proud of how hard that everybody worked and that how far we've come from the first year that we've done this. And something I could definitely improve on is just my own mental game, is just putting other things aside and focusing on one thing at a time. Because missing the regional cut for the second year in a row kind of stings, but it makes it a lot better definitely when you realize that with your team you're going to states.
How do you put that, just mentally, you're a senior now, aside and say, I have a team tournament now to concentrate on, and like you said, is that part of the things you're working on?
That's exactly,
that now in the back here and being
that's
able to
exactly what I'm just trying to think of, just because it'll be my last match ever of high school golf.
And when you say other things, are you talking about just golf things, or is that just other things in life too? Because obviously you have
in general, just things in general, because sometimes your mind gets very clouded on the golf course, because it's not like basketball or football where you're constantly moving and thinking of plays. It's you have time in between your shots, so other things tend to pop up that is just like, why are you thinking of this? Like, get it out of there.
Dreamock finished third at the District 2 AAA Individual Championships, just one stroke behind her teammates Babinchak and Ritz. She really showed her character and leadership after that round, and we discussed that on the podcast. Babinchak won the District 2 Individual Championship. We asked her about her schedule as she was getting ready for the individual regional tournament and the Team State Championships.
How would you describe it to somebody? If I said, how's your week going? How would you truthfully answer me?
It's insane. Like, I wish I could just have like 2 hours of just like pause time and just chillax for like 2 seconds, because there's like today there's meetings for school, and then there's golf practice, and then I have to go back to the high school for a meeting, and tomorrow is work, and then the next day is going down to Heritage Hills, and it's just plus schoolwork, and it's just
What do you do to relax through all this? Do you put on a music? Oh, that is one thing.
Crime show.
Yeah, crime show.
Crime show. I actually.
What does relax you?
I am 110% obsessed with sunflower seeds.
Okay.
If I just go home and eat sunflower seeds and just sit down and do nothing else, it relaxes me. Or play with my dog, but that's the main thing.
Finally, here's Ritz talking about her round during the District 2 Individual Championships.
Well, I was in a group with Marin and 2 other girls from a different school, and then Grace was the group behind us.
Okay.
So I was down 2 strokes through with 6 holes to go. So I was nervous because I knew that I was so close that I could do it, but I didn't know how close I was to Grace, or if there were people in that group that could potentially be ahead of the people in our group. So going into the last hole, knowing I was 1 stroke ahead of Marin and the other girls, it was very nerve-wracking, because the feelings inside, it's something you can't explain until you get there, because it's interesting. Like, you want your teammate to do well because you know that she's 1 stroke behind you, but at the same time you want to do well for yourself, and so you're rooting for everybody and you don't know who to root for the most, and it's very hard.
That's going to be a lot of emotions. Just dealing with the emotions of I want to succeed,
in a matter of 10 minutes too, or 10 minutes. It's
so
not like you have time to let
happening.
it sink in either.
You have to be proud of the way you handled that situation and to get out of it. I'm sure it's a growing experience too. Like, once you live through something like that, I'm sure it changes you a little bit.
Definitely.
Hear more interesting stories and fascinating facts from the Lady Cougar golf team on the latest Good Sports podcast and web series, available now at SSPTV.com and StandardSpeaker.com. For now, inside the SSPTV studio, I'm Ken Kara. Here comes Ron Marchetti. Yay!